DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And here we go again. It's Bill Herman. It's Disc Jockey News Television and DJNTV. Of course, John likes me to say it that way. And welcome to Presenter Spotlight on our DJNTV show. Of course, that's happening in Las Vegas. Those of you who haven't bought your tickets yet, you want to be sure to do that. All month long, last month, and this month we're and of course, you know, through February until the show, we're going to be talking to a lot of the presenters and that are going to be happening and coming to the show. And the show, of course, is February 24th, 25th, and 26th, and 27th, and it's all going to be at the South Point Hotel. A lot of you know this already. And a lot of you are still sitting on your butts thinking, I wonder if I'm going to go. Okay, cut that out. You know, go to the site, go to djntv.com/tickets, get yourself the tickets now because it's going to be really something quite special. John has got himself quite a great list of some amazing presenters that are going to be a part of this show. And today I get to talk to a longtime friend and one of the presenters that day during the show on Wednesday at 9:30. Jodi Harris and her husband Pat Harris are going to be presenting in the morning. They're all going to get up after staying up all night long, and they're going to pass out pancake batter, and we'll have a great time. And one of the things they're going to talk about is destination weddings and how to really, truly understand how those things work, how to deal with your clients, how to make destinations weddings not so scary. I mean, this is the destination capital of the world because they live and work right there in Las Vegas. So when they come to the conference, they're going to pretend like they're on vacation for about an hour, and then they're going back to work. So. That's Jodi. That's Pat. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, everybody. So true. Bill has nailed it again. Yes. While you all are out there having a great time, drinking and partying, we're the two people that have to go home.
And go back to the office and work.
Yes.
So how long have you guys known each other?
We met in October of 1990.
Wow.
Okay. And were you both in the same business?
No. Jodi was working for ABC in New York, and I was actually a DJ at the time. And I was living in Southern California. She was living in New York. So it was a long distance thing.
Yep.
Wow. Well, let's go before we get to that. Let's go back in time. Jodi, when your first entertainment world, the first time you tried to do something in entertainment, was it DJing or something else?
Maybe it was something else because I worked in television. So I was an assistant producer for Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, which
was
is
that
now
your first. Wait, that was your first job in entertainment?
I guess so. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I used to party with my friends, but no, I never. Yeah. I mean, that was it. I used to go to Hunter Mountain, been to the Hamptons, for all the Jersey crowd. Hey, been to the. We were like, my era was like the Snooki and the JWoww before they got like really. That was me and my friends.
Okay.
So yeah, but as far as like being in this industry, it wasn't until I met Pat. So, and I refused to be the girl that on Saturday nights would stay home while her boyfriend / fiance went to these great parties. So I went with him. So I would just like put on a really pretty, at the time, a party dress. And I would, he would take me to the events.
Mhm.
I would sit in the car and watch him unload, make sure that nobody towed the car while he went in and checked the venue out, kept an eye on the gear. And then at the events, I sat in the corner for the longest time, just kind of watching and observing.
I would have her press start on the turntable. So that shows you how long ago this is. Okay. And then I'd say, when I say this, press that button and then bring this slider over.
And I was so nervous and so scared that I was going to mess it up. I was like, oh my God, my hands were shaking. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. And now I don't care.
I was going to say, you were a television producer. Pushing play on a record player after being a TV producer was a scary thing for you?
Well, because it was brides.
Different world.
Different world. I don't know. It was couples getting married. Yeah. Not that 500,000 people, all of America was watching a live TV show. But yeah, it was the scariest thing I think I ever did. I was so afraid that I was going to mess it up for him when he said the word "the" or "love."
Yeah, my wife went out with me one time, and the same sort of a thing. I asked her, actually it was like the dollar dance thing was happening. So I said, there's a song playing, let it play. I got to go to the restroom. Not much you have to do. If the song stops, it will continue to play the next track.
Sure.
And I didn't give much thought to the next track. I thought I put the right thing on. So I leave and I go to the bathroom. I didn't get back in time. All of a sudden I heard the bride when she used to rock and roll. And I hear the bride going, what the hell is this? I come around the side. My wife is literally under the table.
Oh my God.
Scared to death of this. I go over. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I put another song on. And then another thing happened. She peered up from the table and says, I'm never, ever doing this with you.
Oh
again.
My God.
So it went way different for me.
Yeah. Now we drop it into a playlist.
Yeah, now.
Hit auto mix. I'll be back in a half hour.
Oh my God. Did I say the words "the"? Oh yeah, hit it. Just hit it.
Whatever.
So Pat, when did you start? When you were in Southern California, why DJing? When did you do that and why?
I started DJing in high school with a friend of mine, and it was just, house parties and stuff like that, just to do for fun. And I just really enjoyed it. I got really lucky that I found early on in my career 2 really good companies that did a great job of training me back in the mid to late 80s. And so I just got really fortunate that, I didn't spend a lot of years like a lot of DJs do, just kind of figuring out things. I had some really good training from the very beginning. So I think in that aspect, I got lucky. And I fished around in a bunch of different things. And, after about 5 years of doing this, I'm like, why am I looking at other careers? I love doing this. So that's kind of was the impetus. And then when she came along, she wasn't thinking of becoming a DJ. She worked in television. She worked in television when she moved to LA with me. But then she got the bug, and now I pretty much just kind of run the business as far as the technical end and make sure everything works. But she still goes out and probably does 120 to 150 events a year herself.
Always.
Yeah, she's a workaholic.
I challenge Big Daddy Sean McKee any day. I will put my schedule up against your schedule, Sean, any day. So if you're watching this, I'm laying the smack down on you right now.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to get the ring and he's going to come at you from the turnbuckle. I
got him.
So now let's back up a little bit. You guys met when both of you are on different coasts. How did that happen?
Vacation. I was on a vacation in instead of going to club, like I'm from New York, New Jersey area. So instead of going to Club Med like everybody did, me and my friends would just take trips to Southern California. So we loved like Hollywood. We loved that whole LA vibe. Mm-hmm. So we would go and so I met him at a club in Redondo Beach. Out in Redondo Beach.
The Red Onion.
The Red Onion in Redondo.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've heard unbelievable stories about the Red Onion.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all true.
As I like to tell people, the Red Onion was known for most relationships that started at the Red Onion were you used a stopwatch and not a calendar to measure the length of time they were. Yes.
And we met on a night. We met on a night where we met on Jamaican Me Crazy night.
Yes,
it was Jamaican Me Crazy. It was a Sunday night.
Neither one of us was drinking.
I was out with somebody else previously during the day, and my friends dragged me out to the Red Onion for Jamaican Me Crazy. And same thing with him.
And I wonder, yeah, we both got drug out, didn't want to be there, and we met each other, and the rest is kind of history, you know.
So how long did you go back and forth then with each other before, Jodi, you went out, you gave up your TV job in New York and went out to California?
I did.
7 months. 7 months long distance, lots of, I became an elite club member for the phone company because of all the, you know, when you spend like it's X amount of dollars on
pay for that stuff.
Yeah. I was like part of the VIP. I was like, oh my God, I just spent almost as much in rent as I did long distance calls. So it was cheaper when she moved. That was for sure. But yeah, so about 7 months in, I flew out to New York, and we drove back in, and like I said, we started, and she started working in television, and I just continued my DJing until she got addicted to it, and now she
went full time. Yeah, I went full time. So I had a job when I moved. When I did move to LA, I did television producing. So
and you stayed with ABC, I'm assuming.
No, I didn't. I actually went to Nickelodeon and MTV. I went to MTV and Nickelodeon after ABC. ABC had nothing for me. I thought I was going to land over at Good Morning America.
She got a lot of, you're overqualified.
Yeah. There was an opening at GMA, and it just wasn't a right fit. And then Nickelodeon took me, and then MTV took me for a while. And then I was offered a very nice job with MTV, but the problem was MTV was moving all production back to New York, and I just left. So it went from Universal, where they did years of doing things live at Universal, now over to back to New York, and I didn't want to go back. So
while you were in television, were you like, was it a passionate thing for you, or is it just a job that ended up you had that you were good at?
Both. I mean, I was passionate about it, and I was good at what I did, you know, so, and which helps me for what I do now, because that, event production background that I have, you know, pre-screening guests, pre-interviewing guests, looking for content for, you know, our shows, that definitely helped. I learned a lot from, you know, working in live entertainment, and I learned a lot about the DJ side of the business, you know, with Pat, but also, you know, our friends Mark and Charlotte Gold from 24 Karat taught us a lot. 24 Karat Sound and Video. I worked with them. They're really the reason why I am the CEO of Fun.
Wow,
I owe it all to Mark and Charlotte.
There you go.
I always found it fascinating when I heard a little bit about your story when I first met you, that you must have brought something to the DJ world with all of what you were just talking about that the DJ world kind of was unsure of. I mean, early on with DJing, it was just, let's get our stuff, take it out, let's turn it up loud, let's get paid. So the idea of bringing that kind of production value, backstage preparation, understanding what might be happening, getting ahead of things beforehand, that must have been a kind of almost a revelation within the business when you guys started working together.
Yeah, and I think early on too, I mean, the business model now is not uncommon, but early on we started doing event production. So in other words, not just DJing, but she got me into the video side because I started doing television work with her. Yeah. So we started videotaping weddings and events, and then we started doing lighting, and then we started doing, you know, all the other aspects. So all the skill sets that we learned, we were doing all that back in the 90s. So it really helped us because we really got to go to that next level, and it saved us a lot because as the economy changes and everything else, you're not relying upon that one income stream.
Yeah.
You know, we had that diverse knowledge and background to keep us busy all the time, which is definitely what it's like now.
Yeah. And definitely, I think, you know, dealing with quote celebrities, you know, I got to work with celebrities and working with publicists, and you learn to respect, you learn how to respect people. You know, some people are very high maintenance, you know, some people are low maintenance. So again, when it comes down to weddings and events, it's the same thing. Some brides are really cool and chill. Others are very, you know, very emotional, very like, you know, high, they drive you crazy. So learning that skill from working in television production really helped a lot.
So now it looks like you do you do a lot of the go out in front of the audience stuff. Do you prefer one over the other? Are you more of a performer than a CEO?
I think I'm half and half.
Yeah.
I think I'm half and half. It really just depends on what my clients want. I'm a very good MC. I am a very good MC. That's what I've been told by people. I see other people MC, in our area, and I think I run circles around them. And again, event professionals, I'm not just saying it, but I have catering managers coming up to me saying, hey, can you MC this event? Or, just people come up to me all the time and say that that's what I'm really good at. We just did a party in December at Hakkasan where we had over 400 people in the special event industry. I did not spin. I had one of my DJs actually spinning, but I was the MC. And when I stepped away for a few minutes because somebody grabbed me for something, I let somebody else MC it on the board. And they're like, when I came back, they're like, thank God you came back, because we couldn't understand a word that other lady said. She didn't know how to get their attention. She didn't know how to interact. So, yeah. So I think,
well, the big thing that Jodi has that is something we tell, we do a lot of training with the MCs, with the DJs, is she has the energy. And if you don't have the energy and the personality to begin with, you can certainly improve somebody. But if you don't already have that in your core, it's very hard to get beyond a certain point. Right. She already had that, and all we had to do was bring it out, and then it was all over.
And I care. I truly care about people. I think that is definitely the secret sauce, is if you care about your events and you care about the people and you understand a little bit about their backstory, it comes across. It
really does. And I completely agree. And it's interesting to see how you evolved beyond, because when it comes to television and radio, many people from television and radio, especially in the performance end of it, and I know you weren't necessarily in the performance end of it, you were in the producing side of it, but many of those people cannot do live because it's a different dynamic. When you step out into a room full of people on a stage with a microphone, you are speaking as much as you on television and radio are speaking to one person, and you don't have the distractions of what's going on. You need to be able to command of 1,000 people and then keep their attention and give them a reason why they like you enough to listen, and then listen again, and that's not necessarily a skill that many people have. And it sounds like you naturally had that coming into the party.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. It was easy to once you got over the initial nervousness of getting on a microphone, it kind of, once it clicked, it became really easy. Once you learned to become herself and just be yourself on the microphone, everything after that was easy, because she was just my assistant for years. She would just play music and bring up song, and she never even talked on the microphone for like the first 5-6 years.
Oh, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where, like, well, this party doesn't need me, so I'll just set you up and we'll have you could do this one on your own. And she started off slowly like that, and before you know it, she didn't need me anymore.
Yeah. I always need you, Pat.
Thank you.
So there's a question that a lot of guys that want to do more emceeing, or DJs who want to start using the mic, that I get all the time, and I'm sure you hear it all the time. What is it? What was it? What's the thing? How do I get over that? How do I get over that nervousness? How do I get over that freak out about the fact that I'm going to open my mouth now?
Well, the first thing is repetition.
For you, it looks like it was a gradual thing, but if you give them an advice, what would that be?
The first thing is repetition. You're going to be you're going to be absolutely nerve-wracked the first time, regardless. Mm-hmm. And secondly, you need to learn how to be yourself and not be a character. It's a lot. You play yourself better than you play anybody else. And a lot of DJs I've seen over the years, and to use a dated reference, became Rick Dees when they got on the microphone. And they had that cheesy FM voice. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And I still hear people like that, and I want to strangle them. But once you learn how to be comfortable and just talk to people like we're talking now, it's like, oh yeah, and you forget. Why am I nervous? We're just having a conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's that becoming yourself and being comfortable with yourself that allows you to really excel, because now you're not pretending. You're just doing what you normally do.
Yeah. And I just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the revelation was, but I just kind of laugh at myself. I just kind of joke around, and maybe, some stand-up comedy, watch a little stand-up comedy. Definitely, I'm a big WWE fan. So a lot of watching like wrestling and promos, that really kind of helped me, watching, the CM Punks and just people just get on the mic and do their thing, just kind of helped me. And guess what? We all make mistakes. If I accidentally said something stupid, I'm like, oh, well, hey.
You own it and keep going.
I own it. Yeah. You just own it and you keep going. I'd rather do that than go, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, your name is not
never
Bill,
apologize.
it's Steve,
No.
Yeah.
You own it. You'd make a joke about it, and then you continue on.
Right. And
you know,
even and most of the times, if unless it's like glaringly blatant and mean, they're not listening. They didn't see it anyway.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So go ahead.
I said I had a Filipino-Japanese wedding that we had 36 people in the bridal party, all with 14-syllable names. And I started off the grand entry by saying, ladies and gentlemen, we have some important people to introduce in the room. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to mess up most of your names. Everybody laughed. And when I would mess up that bad, I was like, was I even close? And they would just laugh and giggle. And it disarmed everybody. They weren't pissed because I mispronounced the name that was that long. I owned it before it happened. So that was just kind of, how to get over that problem before I knew it was going to happen.
Now, are you still going out there and doing these things, Pat, or are you more of a backstage guy now?
I'm mostly backstage. I still go out when they need to. I still train the guys. Because I'm I'm better at teaching than Jodi. Jodi doesn't have the patience for it. So, and I do all the technical stuff. So I teach the science behind things and the psychology behind things, and how to work with, the difference in how to enunciate your, the words and how to emphasize all the foundational stuff.
Yes, he does.
And then Jodi she just goes out and parties.
That's it.
Okay. So no, this is fascinating. And I know we don't have a ton of time. Well, we still have about 10 minutes here. I want to know now, why did you choose to present here at the DJNTV show? And first of all, why did you choose to? Why did you? Jodi, you haven't done a lot of presenting.
No.
I don't think you have either, Pat. Why?
Mostly in the video space.
Did you want to do this?
It was something that they had approached us, concerning, because they knew that we did a lot of destination and they wanted to cover that. Right. And we're very sharing people. We don't care. We're not the type of people that go off and try to hide anything. So. I firmly believe in I can teach you everything, but you still have to apply it. So I'm not worried if my competition learns this. Like I said, we do a lot of our presentation stuff that we do is outside of the DJ sphere.
Sure.
So we're used to that. We're used to being in front of a crowd, and we felt like we could possibly help some people. And that's the big thing, is if we help, you got to give back to the industry. You can't just take, whether it's putting effort into the people who you're bringing up that are working for you or the other businesses around you. You have to, I believe, and maybe it's a little Boy Scoutish, but I believe that you need to bring the industry up in order for everybody to survive.
Absolutely.
We all need to be better.
Yep,
absolutely.
I agree. Yes.
And Pat was very big years ago when we had WEVA, the WEVA, the Wedding Video Association. Pat was one of the major people that would always give seminars on, back in the day on that.
Streaming media.
And I've given a seminar here and there. But, when I thought about it, destination weddings, I think that's great. I mean, it's a good topic. It's something that we're very knowledgeable in, being that we're the wedding capital of the world. Mm-hmm. There's roughly about 76,000 weddings here in Vegas a year, 76. And that's down, by the way.
From 120,000 10 years ago.
Yeah. So wow. I'm the president of the Las Vegas Wedding Chamber of Commerce. So I have a lot of access to what's going on in the wedding and event community. So I think it was a good fit for us to give back. And it's great. The new photo booth expo and bringing in a DJ track. It's nice to see some new faces. You see the same people over and over again. Let's meet some new people. So that's also very refreshing. So it was cool.
I agree. I think you have others. I think I don't think that people can sit in your presentation and not be taking furious notes. There's going to be things that they're not going to expect, and they're all going to come in probably thinking that they know a few things. But I know you guys enough to know that you're going to be. This is a subject that people think they know.
Yeah, and it's world. Our world is different than most, because we have colleagues all over the country, all over the world, and when we talk to them, they're like, "What do you mean you have a wedding on Wednesday?" It's like, yeah, I have weddings all week.
Yeah,
we have not even corporate. It doesn't even have to be a corporate event. You can have weddings on a Tuesday or Thursday night, no problem here. 95% of our special event work, our wedding work, is destination.
Yeah.
So our approach in our business has to have been different for a long time. I mean, we've had to really incorporate a lot of technology and different techniques and things that other people that deal mostly with locals don't have to do.
Right.
So there is a little different approach. Some of the stuff is the same. Not going to tell you that everything is different, but you have to add some different aspects to your business to make it work.
And I think even if you don't do destination weddings, you're still going to get some great takeaways from our seminar, because it not only just does it apply to destination, it applies to any wedding. You might tip or trick. So,
the days of people coming into your office and sitting down in your presentation room and looking at videos on the wall, I'm not going to say are completely over, but it's certainly seriously declining. So you need to be able to handle a bride that lives 3 miles away the same way that you would a bride that lives 3,000 miles away.
Yep.
Agreed.
And be able to deal with them at 24/7, 365, and be able to answer their questions whenever they want, have that information for them whenever they want, and they don't want to drive to your office and sit down. It's very difficult to do with the younger brides.
Yeah, even for the people who live right there in your town, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we honestly, maybe one person every other month comes into our office. That's about it.
Yeah.
So now, if you had to pick one grand thing that people are going to walk away from with yours, and it's something that might encapsulate what's going to go on, if they're going to leave only with one thing, and I'm not asking because you say that now they don't have to come to it, because trust me, you're going to want to see this.
Yeah.
But what are you hoping that they're going to take away from your hour with them on stage?
Well, I think some of the big things are how to communicate with somebody who doesn't live close to you or doesn't want to come into your office. How to communicate with them, like you just said, in a way that they can gather whatever information that they want whenever they want. It's not about how we want to talk to them or how we want to communicate with them. We have to do it the way they want to do it. Mm-hmm. So we have to have multiple ways of being able to communicate with different personalities and different types of people in order to make things happen and make them feel comfortable. You got to think outside of your box. You can't do it the way we did it 10 or 15 or 20 years ago.
And some unique things, not just sending a PDF with your pricing on it, but some unique ways of actually standing out and making yourself different. Because if they're calling you, they're also calling, 3 other companies on a list. I mean, today I just got a phone call from a groom who told me that on the preferred vendor list, we were one of 6. Oh. One of 6. That's crazy. Yeah. On a preferred vendor list.
But when they looked us up, they were impressed by our online presence, and that's why they called us first. So they actually did their due diligence, which is unusual for a lot of clients. Yeah. But they actually looked it up and went, "Wow, I actually can find stuff on this company." And they have all this great stuff online, and that's part of what we talk about is your online presence.
Yeah.
If they can't find information about you, they're not going to feel really comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing that you kind of touched on there is how today's clients, they have questions, they want answers, and they want them right away.
Yes.
And that's always been a struggle, and it's become a struggle, and it's been a thing that a lot of DJs have asked me about. I've seen it myself, but I would guess that you have some answers to that are going to really speak to, because you are dealing with people that might be in Australia.
We are.
It's not just a different time zone; it's a different day. It's literally
exactly.
It's the next day there.
Absolutely.
So you have to have this information all ready for them, ready to go. You have to be able to get things to them simply. They have to be able to pay easily. You have to be able to deliver the product easily, especially with photos and videos and things like that. You have to be able to do all of this essentially almost instantaneously.
Well, don't you also have to have some sort of a, especially when you're dealing with people all over the globe, aren't there certain boundaries as well for you to be able to deliver, or you literally have somebody sitting at the communication keyboard 24/7?
Well, kind of, sort of, because after certain hours, it just goes to the cell phone. So have we answered questions at 2:00 in the morning on Sunday morning? Yes, absolutely.
Was I on a plane in Orlando just recently, paid $8 for the Wi-Fi and getting ding, ding, ding? Yes.
Yeah.
But Oh, absolutely. You've got to know. You do that now, though. I mean, for me, if I get an area code that I'm unfamiliar with, I just go on Google and I just Google that area code, and then I'm cognizant of what time, who I'm calling, what time zone. So if it's 5:30 here, and let's say I get a 914, somebody goes online right now and I see it's a 914, I know it's a New York number, and I'm going to be like, I'll just contact them tomorrow, or maybe send a text, or it just depends on when I get that message. But yes, very, very aware of time zones. That's crucial.
And in the last year, we spent a lot of time not just redoing our website, but adding lots of procedures that make things that you can automate a lot of things, that you could do things that happen in the background without you touching anything. So we've spent a lot of effort in that, because there's so many more things you have to do now than you used to. A lot of things have to be automated, and it takes a lot of work on the back end.
Yeah.
That putting all that work before you do this, before you can press those buttons, is critical. So it's not easy, but once it's in place, it does make your life easier.
It does.
And it makes it easier for the client, which is probably the most critical. Well, which it is the most critical.
Well, and as amplified as it is for you guys there in Las Vegas, being the destination wedding capital of the world, you're dealing with it on a very amplified way. In fact, another thing that I was thinking about too was the idea of being able to communicate to your potential clients when they're calling about let's just say a wedding, and they already everybody all over the world already has this idea of what a wedding is, what a DJ at a wedding is. Now you say a DJ at a wedding in Las Vegas, there's even this more of a thing that they know exactly what they're doing, they know exactly who you are. That whole problem of communicating that you have something different to share is probably amplified for you guys as well, just because of the fact that it's Vegas.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that it's not like being in an area where you deal with all local brides, where you kind of know how all the weddings are going to go, most of the music. We're dealing with different cultures and different, because weddings are done differently in different parts, not just different parts of the country, but different parts of the world.
Right.
To them, they don't realize that.
Nope.
So they just think that's how it's done everywhere, but it's not. So you have to learn how to do it the way they do it in this part of Ireland. Yep. In this part of Australia,
Mexico.
In this part of Canada, yes. So,
Mexico.
You have to learn and understand all of these different traditions and the format and how they do things. We know we have a Canadian wedding that we're going to have 45 minutes of speeches.
Yeah.
Right.
We know if you're from Ohio that we got to play "Hang On, Sloopy." We have, and you know what? That's been a booking. I booked parties because somebody from Ohio will call, and I'm like, we got to do "Hang On, Sloopy." Done. Like they know.
Right. Exactly.
They
Very
know.
cool. This is I'm so looking forward to, and so much fun just talking to you guys. It's been I feel badly that when I haven't reached out before. We've known each other a long time. The world goes in the way the world goes, and we get older and things change. But I always have a great time talking to you. I'm really looking forward to seeing you this time, and actually maybe seeing you and talking to you.
Yes.
Maybe even shaking your hand, maybe giving you a hug instead of a wave in a hallway.
Maybe a hot tub.
Yeah, maybe a hot tub. There you go. There you go. Well, you know where the best hot tubs are. So
I do.
Right. And I'm sure you know about all the Minnesota hot tub things that you need to know for the Minnesota hot tub party to work.
Hey, listen, DJs, if you want to do some serious networking, get in a hot tub.
Get in a hot tub, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not inside.
On that note.
All right, so remember now, if you want to see this, first of all the presenters are amazing, and including, of course, Jodi and Pat. They're going to be on stage on Wednesday, 9 o'clock or 9:30 in the morning at the DJNTV show. You want tickets? Go to DJNTV.com /tickets. Right now, if you use DJNTV show 2020 as a promo code, you'll get the best price on any of the tickets you get.
Cool.
It is Jodi and Pat Harris from Sight and Sound Events in Las Vegas. They're going to drive about, they might even just walk over, actually, from their house over to the hotel. But it's going to be really, really great. And if you check in with us tomorrow, we'll have somebody else as well, and throughout this time. But I also know that the best thing about this show is that we don't have people on stage that are not approachable. Okay, there's one thing I know about Jodi and Pat is if you picked up the phone right now, they would answer it. Answer any question, just how you doing, and I don't know who you are, but what do you want to know? And it's going to be that way there. Okay. Oh yeah, no problem. In fact, I'll put your telephone number right here in the comments.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Personal phone number.
Call us now.
Call
now.
So anyway, the only reason you probably might not see Jodi is if all of a sudden WrestleMania comes to town on the day.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
I'm saying. So anyway, thank you for jumping in. Thank you again, guys, for being a part of this. And we'll see you next time on Presenter Spotlight on DJNTV.